Hi, everyone. I'm here with Jose. He's recently taken the at-home TOEFL, and I know many of you are curious as to what that experience is like. So he has graciously agreed to share his experience with us. Jose, before we dive into it, why did you decide to take the TOEFL? What are your plans?
Well, I'm planning to do an MBA in Germany, and one of the schools to which I am applying asked me for the TOEFL.
Nice. So going into the TOEFL Home Edition, how did you feel?
I felt pretty well. It's I would say it's better than going to a test center because you don't have to travel, or I don't know, it's you can have breakfast and then 20 minutes later you can be doing your exam. So I would say it's more comfortable, but you also might have some distractions because it's complicated to be 4 hours completely quiet in your house. I mean, you always have distractions going around.
So thinking about those distractions, when you started taking the test or before the test, did they ask you to show your camera around the room to do a security check?
Yes, they did. They asked me to show the whole room, and also they asked me also to use my phone to reflect the screen, so that I don't have any note on my screen, for example. Yes, they made me show under my desk and everywhere.
And did they ask you to move anything from the room?
Yes, they did. They asked me. Well, I didn't know that I need a whiteboard for my notes, and they asked me to remove some white papers that I had on my table for my notes, and I had to leave them away.
And since you had to remove uh, the papers and you didn't have a whiteboard, what did you end up doing?
Well, they allowed me to go and pick something that I was allowed. They suggested me uh, to put inside a transparent plastic a white paper and write on it with a marker, with an erasable marker. So I found this plastic. I put the white paper inside, and I also found some markers, but the problem was that the markers were not erasable. So I had to find a bottle of alcohol to erase them. And yeah, that was the problem. I couldn't write proper notes. But I would suggest anyone who is taking that exam, I mean the home edition, to have a whiteboard and a pen, I mean a marker with a very thin tip, so that you can understand what you write down. Otherwise, my problem is that my pen was not, well, had a very big tip, so I didn't understand what I wrote down.
Which of the sections were you struggling with because you didn't have your notes?
Well, in the listening section, because well, the lectures are pretty long. It's complicated to memorize everything. So I would say it's the part of the test where you have to take the most notes.
You mentioned not being able to use paper. You mentioned the check around the room. What about the breaks? What were the break times like?
Well, they said it would be 10 minutes. So I really did it in 10 minutes, and I was back after 10 minutes. I was allowed to go out of the room. That was no problem. But the only problem is that after 10 minutes I was back, and then I had to wait around uh, 20 minutes, between 10 and 20 minutes. I couldn't check because I didn't have a clock, but it was around 10 and 20 minutes that I had to wait until the next section starts. So it was pretty annoying because I had to be there and I didn't know if it was right or if my computer was stuck. So, and I was trying to tell them, but I waved them, but nobody answered me. So if that happens, you just have to be patient, because it will start again at one point.
So when you were having this issue and you didn't know when the next section was going to start, how were you communicating with the proctor? Was it over chat or by voice or a combination of the two?
Well, after I returned from my break, they asked me to show my area again, to show around again. Um, and after that, they just said, okay, everything okay, you can start again. And then it never started. I tried to tell them. Uh, I didn't find any chat window because this ETS app uses the whole screen, and you cannot exit from this app. And there was no help button or something. So I tried to say it loud, but nobody answered. I tried to wave them, but nobody answered, and then it started again. But I saw that the mouse was moving, so I guess maybe they had a problem.
And what about your communication with the proctor at other parts of the exam? Like when you were first starting and setting up, how was that? What was that like?
That was fine. They started writing me, and then they started speaking me by voice messages. I mean, by phone.
And was the overall format the same? So you had the reading, writing, speaking, listening?
Yes, I took the TOEFL in 2013, I think. Yeah, 2013, and it was the same. But there is one thing that is better in this home edition, uh, and that is that you are by yourself. So, for example, in the speaking section, you don't have to hear the other people speaking, and that's pretty good because I remember when I took the TOEFL 7 years ago, that was very annoying. You were trying to concentrate on your notes or whatever, and the other people were not in this exactly the same part as you, so they really distracted me. And that was much better in this home edition. You didn't have this disturbance.
I can imagine that would be the case, and inside the comfort of your own home too. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
Well, what did you end up scoring on the reading and listening, since those are the only scores you know right now? Is that right?
Yes. In the reading section, I got 26, and in the listening section, I got 24. Well, I'm pretty happy with the reading score, and with the listening score, I was expecting more, but since I had this problem, it was not so bad. And I think it should be enough, hopefully, if I get a good score in the other sections.
Yeah. Well, congrats on those scores. And I'm sure that some of our students would be interested to know, what are some of the things you did to prepare?
I did all the exercises available in the Magoosh website. I made some practice exams in one that is available in the ETS website. Another one that I found in internet. I don't remember where exactly, but and I also saw the lessons. I mean, half of the lessons of Magoosh. Some lessons on grammar.
Nice. Well, I'll be sure to link some of those in the description below of this video, including the official practice that you mentioned. Is there anything else that you want to tell students about the experience?
I would just recommend them to take a whiteboard and an erasable marker or pen so that they don't have the same problem as me.
Thank you so much, Jose, for sharing your experience with our students. I am also going to include a coupon code at the end of this video for anyone who's interested. It's TOEFL Home 20 for 20% off of Magoosh TOEFL Prep, which, Jose, you seem to find very helpful in your studies. So congratulations again on taking the at-home experience, and thank you for talking.
Thank you.